Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another rousing rendition of what we like to call here the BREADren Podcast, Cocktail Convos, where we talk to success veterans. And so today we have a young lady that I was introduced to virtually, and by virtual I mean via social media, Miss Kendra Crump. So we're gonna talk with her about what she does in this thing called comedy. A very unique style, if I do say so myself. So we're gonna get into that, and we're gonna get into a little bit of her background because she is a fellow HBCU alum. She did attend. I don't know if y'all be saying the illustrious Clark Atlanta University, but I'm gonna give it to y'all because I respect all HBCUs. So she is an alum of the illustrious Clark Atlanta University. So we do have that HBCU alum in common, and if you have not, and will by the end of this episode, you will know who she is, and you'll be able to find her on her podcast on YouTube, the Kyndra Crump podcast, and that's Kyndra. Some of us be out here, with the EN. Now she already different right there with the KYN, Kendra Crump, CRUMP. So y'all find her on YouTube and on Instagram. But that's enough for me. Welcome to the Cocktail Convo, Miss Kendra Crump. How you doing this evening, ma'am?
Let me put a little reaction, little confetti. That's how we starting off, okay? Because I like you, the first person to actually spell my podcast, my YouTube, all that. The reason my name on my government name is spelled with an E, and that's typically what I send out when I'm sending a professional message. The reason I changed it to a Y is because it's easier to find me. It's like watching your favorite porn. You have to have a specific name. There it is. But yeah, born and raised in Atlanta. You can call it the illustrious Clark Atlanta. I just want to call it a place where I support Black businesses, and I got ripped off. I need for somebody to pay off this debt. Thank you. That's why I'm on these podcasts, so I can make it so somebody can pay. Or Nelly in the game. I'm tired of shouting y'all out. Y'all need to respond back to my DM so we can live in this bridge house because we in a poly relationship, and you know what time it is. There it is.
So already you can understand where this is going, and that I have no control over it already. So right now, let's go ahead and talk about your style of comedy because it's I won't say it's a unique perspective, but it is a unique perspective because especially I don't want to label it as raunchy, but in some people might consider it raunchy, but you almost really do it in a clean way. You talk about head a lot. You talk about, fellatio and all of that a lot, but you don't do it in this raw, nasty, it's almost like you could talk about it and you could be sitting next to your auntie and your grandma and them, and grandma might not like it, but your auntie gonna be like, you know what, this is hilarious. But it's, everybody can kind of get in on it without it being like just completely turned. Like, a lot of the comedy when you come talk about sex and stuff like that, the old folks get completely turned off. But you do it in
I don't know why. They the ones with 30 kids. I don't know what were you doing? You just laying on your back?
Okay, but you do it in a very tactful
listen,
way.
They didn't have the rope. What's wrong with them? Come on now.
So where did you begin to create your style? And like you've created your own lane because Comic View days, there were a lot of female comedians or women comedians who did go with the raunchy style, and they did some more Lunel. But like your style, like I said, is very unique, especially in our time now. But where did you begin to create that style and create your lane in terms of like, this is, I'm gonna stick to kind of these topics and this space and make it my own?
All right, so my ADHD kicks in, so I was staying with it, and I think I got it. Because hormones, that's what kicked in. I remember I was like in middle school, like 12, 13. John Cena was my first, white jungle fever man. I was destined to be. That's why I wanted to be a WWE diva, right? So I get in the ring with him, Batista, Randy Orton, and Shawn Michaels, and it was going to be a choo-choo. And so with that being said, it's just, when you and I remember I was like 7 and I had Barbie dolls, and the first thing I would do once I got them out of the package was rip them, get their clothes off, right? And I had them on top of each other. So I think me, because sex is created within all of us, and I grew up in an evangelistic household, so of course everything is a sin. And so I always tell people I'm like the Missy, in part when I do comedy, but when I do actual stand-up, I actually, my tagline is "I'm the Missy Elliott of comedy," because Missy was a lesbian rapping about men. Well, I'm a freaky virgin because my throat is not one, but my cat is. And I like it's got this great pubic hair. I'll let you see it once I take a picture and send it to you. I got that Cherokee in my blood, so it's that good.
My wife listens to this. I hope not.
No, she can see it then.
Yeah,
when women,
it ain't no fun.
So crazy. But here's the thing, right? You're right. It is no fun. You could just have the camcorder set up in the back, and everything else like that while you just watching us. But back to the story, what's so crazy? Women can sit here and do that, right? Women can sit here and be extremely gay with each other, but we're not gonna call it gay. But men, as soon as you like touch a man's butt in sports for good job, it's like, oh no, it's now you fighting. I'm like, what's the issue? Equal equality, people.
It's the grand double standard. We talk about it a lot. All right, so when did you touched on your upbringing, and this is like a freeing thing. I'm assuming with you, but when did you figure out that comedy was going to be that thing that you put your time and your effort into?
After having multiple people tell me I was funny, including children, and it's three things that don't lie: it's children, a drunk man, and leggings. Okay, and so with that being said. I had a minister tell me, the same one who baptized me. I'm like, this is when I believe that every minister did no wrong, because they're like, up there with God, they bosom buddies with God. And I'm like, wolves in sheep's clothing. But after multiple people kept telling me. And so 2016, I started via Snapchat, and I was like, hey, welcome back to the Kendra Crump show. And at the time, it was like Lil' Kim's hardcore album, which actually, fun fact, I wrote some of her lyrics, but we've been beefing since the 90s. And I'm like, that's why she looks like a character from Saw. Back to the story. But yeah, so I imported my videos late 2017, early 2018 to IG, because I realized you can go a lot more viral on IG than you can on Snapchat. And on top of that, Snapchat started doing like people just sending unsolicited like ding dong pics. I'm like, sir, can you at least ask me how my day is going before you just shoot that off? Okay, literally, like, sir, you like you don't want to check to see if my light bill was paid. But at least on Instagram, if a person just sends an unsolicited, like it has like a message request and it like says image blocked and stuff. But on Snapchat, they don't do that. Like they're like, oh, everybody's down with this. It's like Tumblr back in the day. So yeah, like I said, man.
So your DMs are safe on Instagram.
Yeah. And then I started jumping on people's podcasts October 2020. And since October 2020, I've been on at least 700 podcasts.
That is amazing. So obviously 2020, because of, the vid, I'm, like everybody else, especially people that do entertaining and face-to-face entertainment, much like a stand-up comedian like yourself, what ways, like you said, you migrated over to Instagram. Did you start the podcast, putting it on YouTube during the pandemic, or were you doing this before the pandemic, and then during the pandemic you were like, I can't go stand up nowhere right now, so let me just crank this up even more?
The podcast came July 2019. Okay. When the pandemic started, that's when I really said, let me just grow my following. So I started showing love to men and liking their posts, and they started showing love back, reposting. They would follow me, and really 2020 was the start of me deciding to not sit here and be like 90% of the world and actually do something with my life that is positively going to affect me, so that's when I really had started that. But I started posting my videos on YouTube because I had to have an algorithm. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays is when I post. Mondays is the red light special / me being a part of the Rhythmless Nation, which is why I never made it to working at the booty club, because I got 2 left feet. I was going to be the first stripper in history bringing home pocket change. You would have thought I was working for a nonprofit organization, but it's still on my bucket list to dance for one night. So I'm going to do this before I turn 30, which is in some years.
Amateur nights. Hit amateur nights.
I will one time. But then like I said, that's why I say, man, some things just don't knock it till you try, like cocaine. When I make it to Colombia, I'm going to try the real cocaine, not the stuff that they have over here. And I'm going to do it one time. And that's always that was always my thought process, because I'm like, the stuff that we know is bad, you just do it one time. Like unprotected sex, But if you trust that person, you keep doing it. But I wouldn't trust these people because these stuff, like how you had said, and I commend you. You know, I gotta give you. Let me give you a hand clap for being a part of the Black men who don't cheat community. But it's not a lot of y'all in there because these same people who like I'm like, brother, your wife is right there. What are you doing trying to holler at me? You want her to get mollywop? I don't have time for that. Okay. You know what would be so crazy? Hold on, side note, pause. I have this thing where I notice that men are, if you go up and tell a man, hey man, I was letting you know your old lady, she tripping, y'all gonna pretty much drop her like a bad habit a lot faster. Women, girl, you just hating. Y'all don't got no man. I'm like, oh, okay, well, you the one with crabs. Anyway. So back to the story. But no, like I said, it was I decided to just go ahead and start it from there. And that's I started jumping, like I said, Monday, those are Monday skits. Wednesdays is when I post my podcast on YouTube, because for whatever reason, people do not have Apple, Spotify, Breaker, where Google Podcasts, where you can find my podcast. Everybody has YouTube. I was at the stoplight, homeless person be like, hey, yo, you Kendra Crump? I'm like, of course. I'm like, how you know who I am? You homeless. Like, I be watching you on TV, on YouTube. I'm like, brother, where you get a phone from? He told me he stole it. He ran off. So with that being said, everybody can get on YouTube. So I post my podcast episodes on YouTube, and on Fridays it's the PSAs, the Kendra Crump's public service
ass whooping announcements.
I got to record a video eventually.
But your algorithm is working. You've got over 3,500 YouTube subscribers. That's subscribers, people. Like, I'm not even talking about views. That's 3,500 people that have signed up to say, I want to hear what you got to say when you dropping it, and over 14,000 Instagram followers. And from what I know, this is all organic. We in this day and age where we see a lot of people who are
followers
buying them, and the numbers don't add up. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, oh, you got 1.2 million followers, but you only get like 100 likes, like, and then you want to say it's the algorithm, but no, you got somebody like you who got over 14,000 followers on Instagram, and you're getting thousands of views and thousands of likes every time you post, and the numbers are adding up. So your algorithm is working.
I don't have time to try to buy and that's the thing, right? Like, it's easy to fake it till you make it, but at some point it's gonna catch up to you. The way, like I said, I just show love, and I show love to men. I go after men, and I follow men because men will support you faster than women will support you, and vice versa. And I don't know why, because I be trying to rub my butt across their face like Rikishi, but they don't want it. Back to the story. Paul, side note, my mother, like I said, we grew up in an evangelistic household, and I remember when I used to like WWE. She walked past the screen when Rikishi did his thing, and she's like, turn! And I was like, brother, mom, go away. My mom, she was like that. But what happened to Rikishi, I wonder? Hope he's still alive. Moving on.
you really, that's one of them things that somebody just randomly say, you be like, I gotta find out before I go to sleep tonight. I gotta find out.
You know what be so crazy? Let me tell you how weird I am, right? I know people's government name, like with rappers and stuff like that. So one time I was in the airport and I heard Waka Flocka's name over the intercom because he left something at a gate, and his name is like Joaquin Malfers or whatever. Yeah. And then they said his government name, and I said to somebody, that's Waka Flocka. They said, Kendra, how do you know that? I'm like, because I Googled him.
Look, the Wikipedia just come up quick.
I didn't see him. I didn't see him though. I didn't see him that day, but with that being said, that's how I am, man. That's how I am. I Google people's like government name.
So you mentioned your mom real quick. Does your mom or your family in general, coming from a religious upbringing, does your family see any of what you do, especially now? Because like you said, everybody got YouTube. Even if you don't got the podcast, you don't got Instagram, might not Facebook or wherever you're. It's like, do they see you, and what do like how is that when they if they do even see you, or do you post and be like, these people cannot ever see me, and like add them to some kind of like block list?
Hey, if you're gonna see me, you're gonna see me. I don't really care. This is my motto, right? I'm an IG model once a year. So if you see a little nudie, I don't know what to tell you, happy birthday. So if my nudie, like little areola picture just comes out and it comes across a page, you're like, what is this? I'm like, I'm grown now. Okay, I pay my own bills. Okay. But no, I mean, I don't really care. My mother doesn't. She has an issue with me doing podcasts. She has an issue with me doing my little stand-up, and so I just be like, oh, okay, well, all right. I learned this one thing I learned, man. You got to do what works for you. You got to be around people who support you. Like, even with you, how long have you been married?
7 years now.
So I'm sure if your wife wasn't supportive of you and vice versa, this would have never worked out, no matter what. And that's what you need to be. You need to surround yourself with people who support you. Not everybody. Listen, I look at one of my other sayings I say is Jordan did not make all his shots. And for the slow ones in the back, that means that not everybody's gonna like you. Okay, not everybody's gonna get to do what you have to say, and it's okay. Again, and that's the thing about even when it comes with marriage, even any type of relationship, because a friendship is still a relationship.
Right.
There are gonna be things that they do that you don't like, or vice versa. But as long as it's not wearing on your self-esteem, as long as it's not, making you feel like you're ready to, jump off a roof, then you should be good. You should be okay. You can agree to disagree. And that's what I had to learn when it came with people I call my actual friends who I speak to on a regular basis. I had to learn that it's okay if they don't repost my videos, if they don't come to my comedy shows. The ones who will show up, they'll show up and they'll support me in other ways. Like if I needed a place to stay, if I need some extra money. Okay, I don't really care that they didn't repost that video. Thank you for helping me in this area. And that's where maturity comes in.
Perfectly said. My co-host DJ, he always says, I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and I'm glad that there are people who drink only coffee. And this basically what it says, like, everybody ain't supposed to be on this ride. Everybody ain't supposed to be, in the car with you when you going to where you got to go. Some people are just meant to wave, ride by and wave at them. Question. The old man that you were looking for head from, how was the search going?
So this guy, this is going to sound so bad, but again, I'm in my 20s. I can get away with this, which I shouldn't be because I'm like at the age where I like know better, but I still don't care. So I had a guy who was 50 and it was back in June. That was actually the last time that I actually got some head too, like from anybody. So me and my fingers have been having a fun time, but I hate it too. Back to the story. So he was at my job and like, he's mature enough where when we see each other one day out the week, I like, what's up? And we chuck deuce. And if I, I text him, I need something at my kiosk and he comes, and brings stuff down. And that's about it with that. But I had to let him know, brother, you're sorry. Couple things I would think an older man should know what to do. Okay. Number one, after activities are over, get a hot rag and be like a CNA and wipe him down. He doesn't know nothing about that. Can I get some water? He never drunk water. He never drunk water. He was like my sugar dad too. Okay, he would pay me to do that to me. Never drunk water, but it wasn't that much, so that's why I had to go back to work. He never drunk water. He didn't have any water for me, no food, like nothing. And I'm like he'd be down there for a while. And I'm like, brother, like it's been like 20 minutes. I haven't made a sound. What are you doing down there? It's not hard. It's up there. It's right up at the top, fellas. Okay. I don't know why you guys don't know. So yeah, I'm still in search. That's why I'm trying to get Nelly in the game. But what if they're not good? All right, just because the person look good don't mean that person's gonna be good for you. But yeah, so and now I try to hit on the what you call it, the host. The host of when I do my comedy specials on Wednesday, but he don't want it either. I'm like, brother, you just missed out on the best throat of your life. Okay, that's why. And I made that joke last night. I said a lot of you men will sit here and miss out on opportunities because you guys don't respond back to DMs fast enough. Okay, because the type of person I am. Okay, I don't want the first message to be that. Okay, I want like to be subtle. Hey, let's work on your comedy. You want to go out to eat? Hey, you want to come back to the house? Cool, that's it. That's it. But no, he didn't understand. He didn't understand the play. But his message once I got up stage was like, wow, I feel pretty violated. Like if I'm like, sir, you should. But I was harassing everybody yesterday. Only women can sit here and like harass men, and it's like, probably isn't right, but like we just do it and y'all just take it like, haha, okay, duly noted. All right.
Look, when it's outside the norm, it's gonna catch some people off guard. Like,
I
hold
love
on,
it.
hold on, wait, what?
I love it, man.
Have you
I
been
love
hacked?
doing that.
It's that's one of those women privileges. It's like we don't really talk about it, but it's a privilege y'all got. Y'all can do that. Dudes, not so much. Not so
No,
much.
you know what? And I was going, like when I do my comedy, like I had this whole set in my mind, but of course it's not going to always go that way once I get on stage.
Mm-hmm.
But I was going to say as well, like, I'd be ready to call the police when I have somebody who looks like a squirrel with a trash bag wrapped around their head, holler at me. And I'm ready to call animal control, because ain't no way you thought that it was okay. Where'd the audacity of you, sir? Don't you try to holler at me?
Audacity been on sale a lot lately, and
it's free now. That's why it keeps getting. That's why you got so many people.
That's the update. It is now free. I thought it was just severely discounted. It is now free. I'm thinking back because I was like, was I gonna ask you that question? And I got what I needed out of that question about you on your search. So with that being said, look, I appreciate you for literally coming and giving it's not. This is the lightheartedest, funniest, yet insightful editions of Cocktail Convo we've had. We joke, but you have literally done like a good 15-minute set here. But you've also dropped some. I hate saying this phrase thanks to Clubhouse, but gems. You made
Why do you hate saying that phrase?
Because did you ever go on Clubhouse, the app Clubhouse?
I got a flip phone. Okay, so my it don't work for me. All right, so I have had a lot of invites. I'm like, guys, I don't have the latest version of a phone, so I'm sorry, I can't get it.
So Clubhouse is like everybody. That's a very saturated, overused word they use. Like every time somebody gets up, they be like, "The sky is blue." They be like, "Real quick, I just got to come off mute and let you know you're dropping gems right now." And be like, no, you're not. So
maybe we can replace the word gems with knowledge.
Yeah, but I like saying it more eloquent. You made a lot of things very relatable. Even for somebody who does not do anything of what you do, they're not in comedy. They're not funny at all. But just the way you explained, especially when you were talking about the maturity of knowing where friends should be, what friends shouldn't be, who shouldn't be your friends. Because that's literally our very first episode. We talked about power circles, and I appreciate you hitting on that. Just surrounding yourself with good people, especially when somebody in your position where you're in entertainment, and at some point everything that you have is going to grow to where you're going to have to put people in places around you, traveling more, doing sets in other places, and you're like, okay, Kyndra needs a road manager now. Who do I get? Do I get my homeboy who is just my homeboy, or do I really get somebody who's qualified for it? And you make those decisions and stuff. So I really appreciate you hitting on that.
And can I say this really quickly?
Oh, go ahead.
Because I know we got 10 minutes left, but let me say this really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I know at some point I'm going to have a manager, but that's like an extra bill I have to pay. I don't want to have to fire nobody. I don't want to have to sit here and get on someone extra. How there have been a few people in history who have never had security. One of them was Jesus, which I think his apostles were his security, but I beg to differ.
Yeah, the posse.
Okay? Yeah, Muhammad Ali is another one. And Mike Tyson, I believe, is another one. Those three people. So with that being said, I hope I never have to pay for security. I hope I never have to get a manager. Like I can, of course it gets exhausting and draining still sending out emails, which is why I don't do them every day. Mm-hmm. I try before, I'm going back to school in January to, on the road to get my PhD in child psychology. So, I thank you. I try not to do it every day, because it does get exhausting and burnt out as well. But I want to be able to not have to deal with because there are some good managers out there and there's some horrible managers out there, right? Mm-hmm. And so I rather just everything come through me, and that way I save my money, and that's it. That's what I want to do. I wonder if I don't even know if Bill Gates has security like that. I don't even know he has a manager. I feel like
I keep seeing pictures of him. I keep seeing pictures of him in Dockers and some New Balance posting like several different places, just like very, very regular.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to get to. But I know at some point, I'm gonna have to deal with that. I'm gonna have to probably go to. But in the meantime, between time, I'm my own manager. I said, let all the money come through me.
So, with that being said, if the people want to find you, I'm gonna let you give them where you want them to find you at.
Y'all can find me on the corner. But while I'm not on the corner, y'all can find me on Instagram.
Hit her on the flip phone.
That's it, man. I had a co-worker, brother's in his 60s, and this is like he was trying to holler at me. This is like a bit like on like where I'm at, it's like a different person, like different branches or whatever. But he was trying to holler at me, and he's mentioned something about, will you marry me? And I'm like, sir. You know who he looks like? Luigi. Black version with the mustache, bald head. He does, and he smokes a cigarette.
I'm like, honest with you. As soon as you say who he looked like, I was going to immediately say Danny Glover. I don't know why.
Well, yeah. Danny Glover. Danny lives out in Oregon though. Danny lives out in Oregon, and he be at the mall sometimes. So,
yo, so. Y'all can
wait, my Instagram is see Kendra Crump Show. So D is in the KYN. But I was saying that. Wait. I was saying before I get that, because I want to say this. The guy, the 60-year-old geezer, he has an upgraded on his flip phone. So I just want to let you know that we upgrade on flip phones all year long. But the Kendra Crump Show. So D is in the KYN as in Nancy, DRA, CRU, M as in Mary, P's and Paul Show. All right, not with no money sign. I'm not no fake ass ASAP Rocky. SHOW. My YouTube is Kendra Crump, KYNDRA, space CRUMP, and my podcast is The Kendra Crump Show. And you are more than welcome to come on my podcast any Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I'm gonna definitely take you up on that offer. So, ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you to your favorite new raunchy best friend, Miss Kendra Crump. Thank you for coming on and like I said, making this one of the funniest, lightheartedest editions of this that we've ever done. That's going to do it for us here at the BREADren Podcast. Y'all know to follow us on all social media at BREADren Pod. That's BREADREN. Bread. Like bread, because we always talking about bread. We always getting bread. I always got to shout out my two illustrious colleagues, Dr. Ajamu Lovin, PhD, CFP, and Mr. Destrian Wells with Destrian Wells Consulting. That's going to do it. Thank y'all. We love y'all. And know you can do about it. Peace.